So picture this. Someone in the office is calling in sick when they're not really sick. Or maybe they're slacking off on purpose or even misusing company resources. This is what researchers call counterproductive work behavior, or CWB. It's basically any intentional action by employees that harms the organization or the people in it.
And it's not as rare as you'd hope. I was stunned to see that, in Canada, for example, over half of organizations reported being victims of asset misappropriation, a third experienced procurement fraud, and a solid chunk even dealt with cybercrime or accounting fraud, almost all from their own staff. So CWB isn't just some tiny HR headache, it can really shake an organization.
Exactly. And the fallout goes beyond just lost money. CWBs create stressful work environments and even make people want to quit. But here's where it gets interesting. There's a growing push to figure out what causes these negative behaviors in the first place, especially when so much research historically has focused on the positive stuff like job satisfaction or citizenship behavior.
Right, and it almost feels like we've been ignoring the dark side of work life. Negative outcomes like CWB are getting more attention lately, which is overdue. If companies want healthier cultures, they can't just boost the good they have to tackle the bad too.
Shifting gears a bit, let's talk about human resource development practices, or HRD. They're basically the programs companies use like training, career development, mentoring to help people grow and improve. The idea is, when organizations invest in their employees, it doesn't just build skills, it also changes attitudes and behaviors.
And that's where social exchange theory comes in, right? The basic premise is, if I feel my company supports me, I'll want to reciprocate. So, when someone gets access to good training or growth opportunities, there's this sense of obligation they're more likely to help the company, not harm it.
Exactly. It's almost like a psychological contract. If your employer invests in you, you feel motivated to return the favor through positive behaviors and avoid negative ones like CWB. There's even research showing that HRD practices can help keep those counterproductive behaviors in check.
Funny you mention that, because it reminds me of how a supportive environment can change your whole mindset. When you feel valued, you're way less likely to act out or disengage. But I guess the big question is, what's actually happening psychologically to drive that change?
Great point. That's where employee engagement steps in. Think of engagement as not just showing up to work, but really bringing your energy and focus physically, emotionally, even intellectually. Engaged employees are absorbed in their tasks, feel dedicated, and show real vigor.
I love that description. It's so much more than just job satisfaction. Engagement is about going the extra mile not because you have to, but because you actually want to. And from what I've read, higher engagement leads to things like better performance and loyalty. But what's less obvious is how it might prevent those negative, counterproductive behaviors.
Exactly. The new research is starting to show that engagement might actually be the glue that connects HRD practices with lower levels of CWB. If you feel energized and valued at work, you're less likely to sabotage your own company. It's kind of a win-win.
That actually makes a lot of sense. If you're really immersed and committed to your role, it's harder to justify cutting corners or acting out. I'd be curious to hear more about how this mediation works in practice, especially in different cultures or industries.